Good morning, guys. Happy, what is today? Saturday, June 28th. So today is market day once again. It's been a while since I've actually posted anything. I was sick last week, so there was a few of you guys that did reach out on Instagram, so thank you guys. I am feeling 100% better today. So today we are headed to the Rustic Fox once again. This is the same market that I think I did in my last video because I never got around to posting the night market video. All that footage kind of makes me upset, so I don't know if I'm going to post that one, but we'll see. If I do, it's going to be like a 20-minute video maybe, because the wind was so bad that day that the camera was just constantly shaking and I just was not a fan of it. So anyway, we have all of our inventory in these little bags here. I'll kind of scooch over here. So we've got all of our inventory in my bags here. Everything else is already in my car. Oh, hi, Maki. Everything else is already in my car, ready to go. So we really just need to pack up a few drinks and stuff. It's gonna be 90-something degrees today. My boyfriend loves the heat, so it's fine. I don't like the heat, so we'll see how it goes. But it's supposed to be like 89 with a real feel of like 94, 95 or something. So you want to say hi? So it's going to be a warm one. We'll see what happens. I'm coming prepared. I've got an extra set of clothes to change into afterwards. And we're also going with a bunch of water and some ice packs. And then I also have a little mini fan that I got from Amazon that spritzes water. Hopefully that thing lasts. It's only a 4-hour event, so I don't think it won't. We are in an entirely different space this time. The last time we were like directly in front of the store. This time we're on the side of the store, which could be better or worse. I guess we'll see, because I don't know 100% how the traffic flowed last time. From what I remember, there was more traffic going around the side and then going around the outside, or just going straight into the store. So maybe this will mean that there will be a little bit more traffic. Last time the traffic wasn't bad, but there wasn't a ton of sales, so maybe people are buying a little bit more this time, maybe people are buying less. I guess we'll see. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the world that's causing a lot of uncertainty with a lot of people I know. Anyway, I'm gonna start putting the stuff away in my car. It's 6:50 and we have to leave by 7:20. So we still have plenty of time, but I just want to make sure that I have everything in the car ready to go before I forget everything or something super important again. I actually do have the front of my kiosk already in my car. That was the first thing I packed yesterday, so we definitely will have the front of the kiosk. I don't know if we'll have the rest of the kiosk. We'll see. Maki, what you doing? You chilling? Okay, so you guys are going to be seeing editing Sav, so me this time, instead of hearing from me in the video, because I had some major issues with the audio. As you can hear probably in the previous clip and in the clips after this, the audio was not great at all. So I'm gonna be here talking you guys through instead. So basically on my screen I have the video actually playing, but I was talking during like the entire thing. So one of the new things that I did end up getting for this event was one of these big green 10x10 backdrops. Well, 10x8 probably backdrop. And at my home, it actually looks like the right color, but it is very obviously not the correct color in person, like outside. So in my next few events, I want to try bringing down the brightness a little bit with a different backdrop. So I'm thinking I'll have the green backdrop in the middle or in the front, and then in the back, like behind it, I'll have the white backdrop to kind of filter the sun out a little bit, because I think the sun was kind of bringing in too much of the brightness of the green. The plan was basically to have the darker backdrop so that way the banner that I bought kind of blends in a little bit more. So you'll see it in a little bit how the banner just kind of blends in a little bit better with the green than it did with the white. And that's mostly because I have the piece that I was talking about in the clip after this actually, that came in to replace the cube system. So we'll see that in a second as well. Of course, I always bring my bookshelf with me. I love this bookshelf so much. It is a little bit wobbly, I have found, because I think it's just because it's just so thin compared to some of the other wood pieces that I have, but this is a Really nice bookshelf. I like it a lot. It does flat pack, so that is really nice because it's a lot easier to bring over to events. My car is a little bit short, so I do kind of have to put it at a little bit of an angle, but it does fit into my car almost perfectly. As long as it's behind where I'm sitting, so if I'm driving, it's behind the driver's seat, it's perfectly fine, so I can't complain too much. But if I try to put it behind like my boyfriend, because he's so tall, then it's just, it doesn't fit, so. And then of course this time I also did remember my kiosk, like the front of the kiosk, because if you remember from my last event, I completely forgot the front of the kiosk and it was so wobbly that I was afraid to use it. This time, thankfully, did remember the entire part of the kiosk. Definitely something that I need to remember 100% because it is scary without the front. I did end up putting my old table runner on my kiosk actually to protect it because there was a lot of iced coffees being placed on it and I didn't want to have any water rings or anything. And then the tablecloths and the sign are also both new things that I have this time around. The sign is from Sawdust and Cider on Etsy, and she did a fantastic job. The colors are a little bit off, but I think that's on me mostly because I gave her a hex code and I don't think the hex codes are really translate that well to paint. So I didn't think about it. It became pretty clear afterwards that I should have given her like a Pantone color or like a specific color of paint, but I'm not too concerned about it. It actually works out pretty well because in the sun it kind of looks a little bit lighter and also it gives a little bit of contrast between the wording, so I can't complain. Also, yes, my camera did fall. The magnetic mount is not very strong. It didn't fall on the ground, at least it just fell like on the actual tent mount. This time we also decided to get rid of the crates that decide to attack our legs all the time. So we're using the white plastic cube systems that you can get from like Target or Amazon or whatever. I think I got this one from Target like 2 years ago. But we're using this system because it was just a little bit easier and a little bit more temporary than what I actually need right now, because the actual system that I'm replacing them with for that back table actually came in this past weekend. That'll be shown in the next video, by the way. So if you're interested in that, be sure to stop by for the next video because I will be going over that entire system and my plans for that. My keychains. Oh, crane. But yes, I was really excited about the crane. You don't really see cranes around here. Sometimes I do, but when I see them, it's always very fun to see them. The front table setup did look a little bit different this time too because I had those cubes. So what I ended up doing was I ended up putting the two risers kind of stacked on top of each other for the cats, and I used a wooden box on the right side to kind of separate the axolotls from the table. Because I don't like putting things directly on the table, I like putting things a little bit higher up, just so that way they're a little bit more in your eyesight. The pegboard was pretty high up for my liking. If you notice me, I'm sitting here like putting things up on the pegboard. The pegboard was a little bit too tall for me, so I think that next time I'll have to bring the pegboard down a little bit more and maybe decide on a different way to hang it because it was, I think, hung by zip ties. So I think next time maybe we'll have to get some kind of other contraption to hang it a little bit easier. While I worked on the rest of the booth though, getting everything set up, my boyfriend was setting up the front of the booth. You'll see that big blurred area is actually him setting up all the cats, the axolotls, and the chubby ducks. He prefers for his face to be hidden on video, so I do try my best to make sure that he's usually blurred out. At this point in time though, I was getting a little bit concerned because there was people starting to walk around the event, so it was mostly vendors to be fair, but I was getting a little bit concerned. And it's a good thing that we ended up finishing up when we did, because I think we had like maybe 3 or 4 minutes left of time to set up, and we had our first 3 or 4 sales within the first 30 minutes. So it was definitely good that we finished when we did, because I was really starting to panic. Okay, so we are all set up, ready to go. We got cute little coffee bar menu that I think I'm going to order from. They have a really good looking watermelon cucumber refresher for $5, and that sounds good to me. So I'm going to probably text that in, but it is 9:57. So the event starts in about 3 minutes. There's been a few people walking around saying hi, a few other vendors. Let me take you guys through the tour, through the booth real quick, so that way you guys can kind of see what we have going on. But a few things that are a little bit different. We're using flat pack items for the most part, so we can actually fit everything in the car, because the last time we kind of just barely made it by. I was afraid that I was gonna have to throw away some crates actually, which probably wouldn't have been a bad thing, because I think half the crates already are just they just broke this past week, so probably wouldn't have been a bad thing. I also did bring a change of clothes, so I might change into that. We'll see. I'm kind of feeling okay in what I'm wearing right now though. So all right, so this is what the booth is looking like. I need to use some of the wrinkle remover because the tablecloths are pretty wrinkly still, but I've got the birds over here. We put the axolotls here, the big axolotl, and then of course all of the cats. I did not bring the loaf dogs today, I guess. I thought I did, but I guess not. This is my little join the email list sign that I have today. Like I said, we're trying this. And here's the little cards for it. And then up here we've got all of the wristlets, we've got the baby wyverns, we've got the little minis, and of course my usual dragons. My snugglers are new this time around, and then I've got my elephants and turtles. And then over here, we've got everything else, like the new unicorns. These guys are all new this time around. And then we've also got, of course, these little guys. I thought that I brought some little magnets to put up here so we can put the lights on, but I guess I didn't, because I don't know where they are. But everything looks good to go. I am excited for the new crates to come in, because honestly, this looks really crowded right now, but it'll look better when those come in. But that's what we got. It is noon. My boyfriend just called me to see what was going on. I guess so my boyfriend had to leave, so it has been about 2 hours into the event. He forgot his work laptop, so he had to run back and get that. But overall, it's actually going pretty well. It's going a lot better than last event, even though my neighbors never showed up. So I look like the end of the event, which is never a good thing, but it doesn't seem to be stopping people. My sign is doing pretty good. I think people are noticing the sign and seeing what's down here, so that's definitely helpful. But everything seems to be going pretty good so far. So I will check back in probably about in an hour. I'm gonna get some snacks when my boyfriend gets back. We're gonna get some barbecue, I think. So I will check back in after that. Okay, so it is 1:42, so this is gonna be my last check-in, but things are still going pretty well. I've been talking to some of the other vendors, and they also seem to think that it's been kind of slow this year, so I'm not sure what exactly that's from. My hair has now changed like 5 or 6 times, and it's only been 4 hours. I'm just that warm. It's that hot out here. So I'm really excited to get done and go home and get a nice coffee. Oh, this is good lemonade. But yeah, so this is going to be my last check-in. We're going to head out here in about 20 minutes or so. We're going to start packing up and head back home. Overall, good day. Too hot. I don't like doing summer markets. I have now learned this. So maybe next year I'm not going to do as many summer markets and just do more like fall and winter markets. Unless they're indoors, because this is awful. Hey guys, and welcome to the review portion of this video. I am just now realizing, after I did all the editing and everything, that I completely forgot to record an intro. So really quick, I just wanted to welcome you guys back to the video, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Savannah, if you don't know me, and I run a small crochet business called 99% Coffee. This past weekend, I should say, my boyfriend and I were vending at the Rustic Fox in North Aurora, and this was an event that was just a 4-hour event, same event as I did my last video actually. It's just one of their other time slots. They do 2 events at this location every month, and then 2 events at another location every month. So this was our second time being at this event, and I think this is their 4th event total for this year. They call it a farmer's market, but it definitely seemed more like an artisan market. So not exactly sure what happened there. A lot of people were kind of upset about it not being a vendor's market exactly. It was kind of funny walking around. There was a few people that were like, this is definitely not a farmer's market. This is more like an art market. So I feel like maybe they need to kind of reevaluate that for the next few events or for next year or something. Or maybe bring in some more local produce vendors. There is a lot of food vendors there, but it's a lot of like baked goods and barbecue, food trucks. Like there's a lot of other food vendors, but it's a lot of not really raw vegetables. It's just a lot of like baked and cooked vegetables and foods and whatnot. So I understand where people are coming from when they say it's not a farmer's market. It's just kind of funny that it's labeled as that. But anyway, welcome to the recap portion of the video. At the end of my market videos, I like to do a little bit of a recap so we can go through things that sold, about how much I made. But before we get into all that, I wanted to give you guys a moment to like the video down below and leave a comment. Let me know how you like this kind of format of the video. I meant to actually do like a, as I'm setting up, talk to you guys video, but I had some major issues with my sound. So we're gonna try this and see how it goes. And maybe for the next video, I'll actually be able to do that because I did get a kind of fancier setup to be able to do something like that. And by fancier, I mean, I got a new little microphone, because the other ones obviously suck. Whoever leaves 5-star reviews on crappy microphones, by the way, please stop. But I ended up getting these little guys, so we're trying out these today. I actually have one clipped here, and we'll see how the audio sounds. Hopefully it's better than the other audio, because that was atrocious. You can actually hear it in the other videos, in the other clips of this video, how bad that audio was. So let's hope that this one works a little bit better for what I'm looking at. And I also ended up getting this little contraption back here that I'm testing out this week to follow my face a little bit better, because in the video that I took, I ended up cutting out a good probably 30 minutes of it that I was talking to you guys in, and it was all just because I was completely off screen. I was nowhere to be found. So, and it wasn't for like 2 seconds at a time, it was like for 30-40 seconds at a time. So I was like, you know what, I'm talking in this clip, but I'm just gonna cut it and we'll figure it out later on. So we're gonna try this out next time. We'll see how this works. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below how you like the format of this video. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe down below. I'd love to have you here in my next videos. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the recap. So since I did the little voiceover during the actual setup and whatnot, I don't feel super pressed to talk about like everything that went wrong or everything that went right. So this portion of the video will be a little bit shorter than usual, but basically this event actually went pretty good. It was better foot traffic this time around for sure, and I don't know if it's because I was on the side of the building or I was in the front, or actually there was no other crocheters. There was one more. There was one other crocheter, but I don't know. For the most part, they were selling flowers and cotton-based amigurumi, so it was mostly like the cotton bears and stuff. So they were selling in the front of the store, but I was selling on the side, and I had a decent amount of foot traffic. I had less comments this time that were like, oh my god, there's so many crocheters. There's so many of the same type. Oh, look, it's all the Woobles stuff and everything. I had less comments like that. Which, by the way, I have some beef with the Woobles lately, because that has been mentioned so many times. Oh, did you use the Woobles to learn how to do this? No, I did not use the Woobles to learn how to crochet. I actually learned from my grandmother when I was little, and then I just self-taught myself growing up. That's not to say that I have anything against people that use the Woobles to learn. I just hate getting my stuff compared exactly to the Woobles, because the Woobles patterns are fairly basic, I guess. And while some of my patterns are pretty basic, some of the products that I make are pretty basic, they are generally a little bit more detailed, or at least I try to add more detail to them. So it kind of bothers me when people are like, oh, these are like the Woobles, or oh, these are the Woobles patterns or something. And it's like, no, they're not. But I had less comments like that this time, so it was pretty chill. It was a little bit weird being the only crocheter at this event, because the last time I think there was like 5 or 6 other crocheters. So I don't know what happened there. However, I will say that there was a few vendors that didn't show up. All of the vendors that were to my left, like I think I had like 3 or 4 vendors that were supposed to be to my left, they never showed up. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if they just couldn't make it or what happened. It's kind of weird for 4 vendors not to show up. So it kind of looked like I was the end of the fair, but then further back was like the barbecue truck, which was a pretty popular barbecue truck, a food truck. So I don't know. I don't know if that really affected it or not, but I think people might have been looking for the barbecue and then saw like, oh, handmade plushies. The sign, I think, definitely helped a little bit, because people were able to see further down the line to see what was going on down in my corner of the area, and they could see like the sign that said handmade plushies. So I think that was a good investment. It was an expensive sign, I will say that, but I think it will be a good investment long term. So let's get into the numbers a little bit here. For this event, rent was $100, and that was for just the 10 by 10 space. I had to bring the tent, I had to bring 2 tables, I had to bring my chairs, I had to bring everything, but we just got the space on the ground. Mileage, we ended up driving, it was 52 miles total. If we were going based off of what the Illinois IRS website says for what businesses can claim for mileage, that is around $36.82, which is about 70 cents a mile as of 2025. I did double check that beforehand because I was not 100% sure what the actual going rate was for that, and that is about how much I can claim for mileage on that. On food, we ended up spending $38 because we had barbecue for lunch, which was delicious, by the way. I had a fantastic macaroni and cheese bowl. And then I also ended up getting that cucumber watermelon refresher, which was also delicious. That was such a good decision for me to get that. And then I also ended up having to pay $37 in sales tax. As for income, we ended up selling about $469 worth of stuff, easily double what we did last time. Total, we came back with $260. So definitely a good event. This event seems to be getting a little bit better every single time. It is a little bit concerning that other vendors also mentioned that it was a bit slower this year. I do remember last year hearing a lot about this event, that it was like a really good event, and I did expect it to be a little bit better, but I think it might not be as good right now because of the fact that they have so many events maybe, or maybe it's just the economy. I don't know what it is exactly, but there is so many factors that it could be, and I hope that it continues to go up from here because while making $260 profit is good, it was so hot outside. It was 4 hours, well, I guess 6 hours because of 7 hours because of setup and tear down. It was 7 hours of us outside selling stuff, trying to make money, and it was 105 degrees Fahrenheit real feel. And it was not fun. Given how long we were outside in the 105 degree real feel heat, $260 doesn't seem like a lot. It was nice to be able to be out there and sell and get my brand out there a little bit more, but I definitely need to be a little bit more mindful of the heat. We did bring water bottles, we brought coolers, we brought fans, we brought a ton of stuff. I brought a change of clothes so that way I wasn't wearing my normal athletic wear. Definitely as soon as we got in the car, my boyfriend was like, we're going to get ice water. We ran to Dunkin' and we got like 3 things of ice water and some lemonades to try to keep us hydrated a little bit, but it was just way too hot for me. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on this channel, but when I was younger, I did have a really bad bout with heat intolerance. I try to be very careful about going out in the heat for that long. I don't think next year I will be doing summer outdoor events specifically because of the whole heat issue, because yesterday made me realize that if it continues getting hotter, I'm not going to be able to do this outside very often, only because it never used to be this hot. I feel like every year, I'm in the Chicago area, so every year we always have some heat waves where it's like 90 to 100 for a few days. Last week, the entire week, I think was like 80 to 90 with real feels in the high 90s to low 100s. And I understand that there are people that live in a type of climate that normally has these temperatures around this time of year, but I'm not used to this. So I am definitely gonna think twice about doing outdoor summer events next year, and maybe just put more focus on indoor events for the summers and then maybe outdoor events for the spring, fall, winter. I don't mind cold temperature, it's the heat that does it that I can't get with. But anyway, overall, this event was good. I will be actually back at this event on August 9th, hopefully with a much lower temperature. I already paid for the booth fee though for that one, so I didn't want to like cancel on it. And then after that, the next one is in September, so it's like, should be cooler by then. You know, fingers crossed, because I cannot do another day like that. That was not fun at all. But anyway, before you guys go, I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video. Videos will continue to be a little bit sporadic still for the next few weeks. I do have another 2 or 3 videos planned that I would like to get out this month. However, I will be moving at the end of July into August, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get those videos out, because before we move, I will also be going to Vegas to visit some family, and I will also be going to Wisconsin with my boyfriend and his family the week after that, and then we move, like, immediately after that. So I have to spend a lot of time packing, I have to spend a lot of time restocking items that sold, And yeah, it's all over the place. So my videos will be a little bit sporadic, but hopefully I can get back to you guys and we can start doing weekly videos again after that, because I have a ton of videos I would like to get out for you guys. Some of them requested, some of them not so requested, but should be a fun time anyway. But anyway, I'm gonna hop off. I do have my new storage system that I need to start working on a little bit. I already built it. I do need to play around with it a little bit and see exactly what it is that I like, what kind of setup I like. So you'll see that in the next video. So if you are interested in that or any other market vlogs or any other crochet vlogs, be sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss my next videos. I'd love to have you here. Okay, before I forget, let's talk about bestsellers though. I had 26 sales and they took up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It took up 10 of those sales, the cats. So over half of my sales were the loaf cats. So if there's anything that you take away from this video, just take away that the best sellers were the cats, the plants, and the chubby ducks. Honestly, everything else was like one-offs, things that are either new or things that don't sell very often. So I don't know, maybe I'll put it in a blog post or something this week. I don't know if it's really worth mentioning them because it was like, you know, 9, 10 different items that just sold one of each. So keep an eye out on my Instagram for more information on that. Maybe I'll post a blog or something. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.